habitat our ecosystem. So for example, they're an irreplaceable food source for a lot of animals, and also they help keep our insect populations at bay by feeding on them. Now unfortunately, with over 70% of Alberta's wetlands being lost to human development, these frogs, as well as their prey, are potentially experiencing shifts in biodiversity and abundance, especially in areas that have greater human disturbance. Now, as of now, there's very little research exploring these changes and how they can affect remaining wetland. On top of that, most existing research on amphibians typically involve very invasive methods, such as dissection, stomach flushing, and these are increasingly becoming unsuitable for research as many of these species are facing decline. So for these reasons, my project consists of pairing non-invasive fecal sampling with a molecular technique called DNA metabarcoding. So to really briefly explain this, metabarcoding fecal samples would mean being able to figure out what the frog ate based on what DNA is in their food. So in short, my project involves using these methods to explore how habitat disturbance affects the diet richness, so the number of consumed species, of frogs in southern Ontario. My hypothesis and predictions can very easily be summed up by this graph. So if high levels of disturbance produce prey invertebrate biodiversity, then frogs are expected to have lower diet richness in habitats with high disturbance than in those with low disturbance. Now, in order to categorize the degree of human impact, these sites are divided into 3 categories: low, medium, or high disturbance levels. And just based on these satellite images, you can see that a very big factor is the amount of greenery. So the Arboretum pond is very surrounded by dense vegetation versus the Ottawa farm, which is a pool in someone's backyard on a farm. Now to collect the fecal samples, I catch frogs regardless of species in each of these disturbance sites. Each frog is then placed individually in cages for up to 24 hours to let nature run its course. And eventually I'll be able to collect the feces and release the frogs back into nature. Now, next up comes the DNA metabarcoding process, which involves a lot of bioinformatics and lab work. And this will pretty much end up giving us a big list of all the species that the frog ate. So what am I doing now? Well, I conducted fieldwork in 2021, and I caught over 400 Anurans. From this, I got 330 fecal samples from 6 different species. These samples are now being prepped for the metabarcoding pipeline so that I can get that big list of frog food. At this time, I don't have any results, unfortunately, but I do expect to see relationships similar to the graph that I showed previously. I've also begun sampling this year, which means my soon be walking around the Arboretum with my big net looking for frogs, feel free to say hi. And yeah, so I hope